Hi, I'm Ryan Verret, and along with my wife, Mary Rose, we founded Witness to Love Marriage Prep Renewal Ministry. You know, married couples are not necessarily marriage therapists. We're not necessarily therapists. But we do believe it's very important to be a sustained and supported living witness to the joy of marriage, even in all the day-to-day routines in the world. We want to share some examples, though, of how this can be challenged and really lived out.
Often a common question we get is, how do we talk to friends or family who are struggling in their marriage and possibly considering divorce? We all know that that's a path that people slide down, and it's so important if somebody comes to you and says they're struggling in their marriage and they want you to listen, and let's say they're venting. Don't ever let them vent to the point that you are becoming a stumbling block in their marriage. And we hear that time and time again, where someone who's struggling in their marriage has so shared their heart with someone in a venting fashion that that friend forever views the offending spouse through the lenses of that conversation. So always try to help someone focus on the good when they're considering a divorce.
And a good way to focus on the good, a good practical way to do this, is that we know within the world, and those of you who are watching and are part of this ministry, any marriage prep ministry, we know that we need couples to share their own marriages and their own life, to be an example of the positive gifts of God and His vision for marriage in the church. And one great way to see that is that we had a priest friend of ours that said our own homes should be a missionary outpost of our local parishes. Just think about that for a second. We can't all be in the church all the time, and nor did God want us to do that. But we really need in our communities today, in our parishes, in our towns, across the nation, for people to open up the doors to their own domestic church, so these couples who are struggling, they can see where marriage and love and fidelity can be lived out.
Absolutely, and we have to be living, breathing witnesses of what a healthy marriage looks like, what prayer looks like as a couple, just saying grace, just what do you do after meals? What does life look like in your domestic church?
We're so supportive and we work so hard to bring new witnesses to God's love and God's fidelity in the world. And one way that many people miss out today, and we want to highlight, is just the role of grandparents. Or anyone who has been a long time committed example of marriage. That it's so essential, and we need to encourage those people to be a part of the lives of our children, our future children, and just to rebuild and renew the community through more people. I say this oftentimes, we only grow within relationships. So let's kind of reset up ourselves so that we have relationships that can be sustained and that we can grow in.
Absolutely, and a story we always share, and it's in our workbook for couples, is a story of a couple married 80 years. And I had the gift of being invited to their 80th wedding anniversary party that they had at their house. And to see them sitting at the table, they were in their late 90s. They had never spent a night apart in their whole 80 years of marriage, even to the point where he had burned himself and she was blind. And he got on his tractor because he didn't have a car, and he drove to the hospital with severe burns. And that night at the hospital, they didn't want to release him, but he said, "I have never left my wife alone, and I'm going home." And he drove home. And I heard his grandson telling that story to a news reporter outside their home. And it was so moving to see their children, their children's children, and their children's children's children all there that day celebrating with them. The witness of that couple, an older couple, they were farmers, they were simple people, but the impact of their love and their witness, and that's for each couple, every married couple, the infinite impact of your witness for your family, for your friends, cannot be measured.
If you would like to learn more about just witnessing and the virtues required in the world for marriage, please visit our website, www.witnesstolove.org, and thank you for being a witness to love yourself.